This building could not be easier to model in either Revit or SketchUp. Let's start. Let's hope that this drawing is correct, scaled correctly. Start Revit architecture. If it isn't scaled correctly, the first thing you got to do is scale the drawing. Do the same thing in SketchUp. You got some significant latency in VDI, so you got to wait for it to load. Start a new project. Always use the architectural template, because the construction template creates unnecessary levels. You're given what appears to be a basement drawing and a first floor. From the insert menu, I'm going to bring in an image. You will have this is stuff from the lighting class. You bring in an image, place it, and take the largest known dimension. In order to scale this, it's going to be most accurate. Use this 30 feet, 29.5 feet scale. So you measure, it's similar to SketchUp. You measure what that dimension is, and then you type in what it's supposed to be, 29.6. Alright, so now this drawing is the right scale. Let's pause this a minute. Now we have a correct size image. Let's place it. You'll need another copy of this, right, to do the basement as well. But let's make believe that we can't see the basement and just model the ground floor. So this is a fireproof building, columns, steel, with a glass curtain wall apparently, and in this case there's a little storefront, probably with a sill. We'll look at an elevation afterwards. So one thing that would be most useful is when you're modeling, you want some kind of orthogonal orientation of your drawing. It makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to rotate this so one of these walls is straight up and down. You can move this little fulcrum Can you see that? Yeah. I'm going to try to make that straight up and down. Okay, so when you copy this somewhere else, what we're looking at basically is, you know, a freestanding free facade with a column. So there's a column grid in here. And you're going to estimate the size of those. And you're going to go to architecture column, use the architectural column. And let's start with 24 by 24. We can change it afterwards. Revit will go from level 1 to level 2. So let's just start by placing columns. No, they're not aligned with the basement elements, but that, I mean, who cares if they're oriented exactly for your presentation? It probably isn't going to matter all that much. Maybe I'd prefer to use this middle. No, I think yeah, this orientation is pretty good. Looks like from this basement drawing, there might be a column back here. Alright, we'll figure it out afterwards. So if I go to a quick 3D view, that's all I've drawn so far. Right? On level 1. You need a basement, so we need to model the Earth topography. We did this in construction documents, right? Massing in sight, topple surface, and we're going to make it very simple because not visible in current view. Yeah, normally you do this from the site view. Let's go to site plan. So there's our columns. I'm going to place 4 points outside of my elevation symbols, and that represents the Earth on the ground. Finish surface. Now we need an outline of the floor because we need to create a depression for the basement. Quickest way to do that is to model. We're going to model a building pad. You can use these lines to generate the floor. So I'm doing this very coarsely right now, not precisely. So we're saying that from here, notice I'm including everything about the building. I'm including everything within, because this would have to be, you know, that would have to be the foundation. The foundation of the building would have to include the entire outline there, right? It technically should go beyond the columns, but this is just to create the depression for that shape. And I'm going to select these lines and copy them to the clipboard just so that we have them handy when we're modeling floor. Finish edit. And if we quickly cut a section, now it says the height to deck 11.8, height to deck 11.8. They probably copied this annotation to this drawing, so it's rather careless. But let's, from the drawing, we'll make the assumption that the floor-to-floor height is 11.8. Now, 11.8 should have significance to you in that it's a perfect multiple of 7 inches. I'm going to draw a quick section to place that building pad at 11.8 below the ground. View. So all we've modeled so far, let's flip it to look this. All we've modeled so far is some columns and a building pad. Right click, go to view. So there's level 1. When you cut a section, it automatically crops it. We want to create a level for the basement. So I'm going to select one of these and say create similar. And I'm going to draw a level below. That's going to represent where the basement is. Let's rename it level 0. Just so that it's sorts. Yeah, rename corresponding view. And that's going to be minus 11.8. We have to make that assumption. And then they're saying level 2 is 11.8. All right. So that building pad now that we have sectioned through, we can place on level 0. So that cuts out the space, right? Level 2 is there. I don't know how much of the building context you want to model. We go, and you can see that we're cutting through the earth here. This represents the level below. Probably I can select all these columns, select all columns, and edit, paste aligned to level 0. So the columns would happen. I thought I pasted the columns to the basement. All right. Let's go back to level 1. Let's model a floor. Architecture floor. Right. We'll accept the default generic floor. We don't care what that is. Puts you in sketch edit mode, and here I can pay. Oh, I forgot to. I forgot that I copied, I didn't copy the line, I copied the columns, so let's quit out of this. Let's go back to level 0. I double-click that to select the model lines. We're going to use that as the outline. Chain of lines. Go to level 1. Floor. Paste a line to current view. So I'm just pasting the outline of the floor. You can refine it afterwards, and we'll need openings for the stairs, whatever. Finish edit. We don't have any walls yet, so this drawing isn't going to be terribly well. Yeah, we need these columns if you're going to do something in the basement. So I'm going to copy this image to level 0. Modify, paste, align to current view. And now what I'm going to do is move this image over to that outline. We have a building pad which represents the depression in the earth, but we don't have a floor for level 0. I'm going to switch to wireframe so we can see through. I'm just moving this approximately into place. Anybody that tells you the VDI is working well is an idiot. But one thing at a time. So I'm moving this roughly within that outline, the outline of the floor I just created. Why am I doing that? Because we need columns in the basement. We didn't have the location of those two in the center there. So let's go to architecture column. I'm using the same two-foot. Remember, I'm in wireframe mode, so this is going to look a little strange. 1, 2, 3. Now, the other columns I'm just going to copy from level 1 and then paste them to the basement. So let's go to level 1. Select all instances visible in this view. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Copy them to the clipboard. Go back to level 0. Paste. Aligned to current view. So drawings are not very good, are they? So we'll have to imagine that that column lines up with this in the drawing, so the heck with it. We'll need to draw some walls. I'm going to try to do this all in one go, so you'll have to pause and stop, but you will be able to model this completely if you follow. We're going to say these walls are 12 inches thick, so I'm using walls generic. I'm going to use a generic 12-inch wall. Always draw, well, I mean, you can draw how you want, but I find it easier to use finished face exterior and draw in a clockwise direction. So I'm going to draw up to level 1. Remember, I'm in the basement. I'm just aligning my drawing with the stuff I've drawn already. Drawing through and we're going to try to hit that center line and come back to that wall. We need a wall now to start here and downwards. This time I'm going to switch to center line. And just go right through it senses alignment with that wall. So we won't draw that wall, we'll just extend this one to meet. Let's select the walls we've drawn, copy them to the clipboard, go back to level 1. Man, this is slow. And paste, align to current view. So there's the outline of the store, the space. It's bound there. I think it's constrained. Let's go to wireframe so we can see. There, you got to cut out that space, but you know, none of this is structural. They're missing a column, so let's go to the basement drawing and copy. See this column? We have to copy it to here. Go to level 0. That column was omitted from level 1. Paste align to current view. you may have surmised that they're asking you to make believe that there aren't columns through the center of this, and that really isn't possible. So I'm going to go to level 0. Unless there's a massive steel beam that goes through that space. But the building is 10 stories high, part of a larger building, right? The address is in Court Square. It's on Tremont Street. So I'm going to go, maybe you'll look like a hero if you, I'm copying those 2 columns from the basement to level 1. Paste align the current view. Right, so if these columns were not there, there would have to be some massive structural support spanning from the front of the building to the back. We'll save the curtain wall. Well, all right. Generally, curtain walls are embedded in the exterior walls, but I'm looking at an elevation of this building. It looks like they run. Yeah, we're gonna guess there's 8 or 9 feet of curtain wall in there. So let's draw. Select wall. Am I on the first floor? Yeah. That boldface is telling you what level you're on. Draw curtain wall. Now, before you start drawing this, you got to be careful to make sure that it automatically embeds in walls. If you have a sill, do I have this picture? Let me pause this for a minute and generate this picture and look at so you can see what I'm looking at. Maybe what I'll do here is save this out because it's getting long. It's nearly half hour. So I'm going to pause the video here and then pick up starting as if we have not yet